Okay, so in my last video, I explained to you what a Chablis is. Hopefully, after watching that, you can understand that it's just really, it's not that complicated. Chablis equals Chardonnay, specifically a French Chardonnay, even more specifically a white Burgundy, which is Chardonnay. I think it's really easy to get tripped up on the jargon around wine, and that's where some people, use it to make themselves feel smart or more cultured or whatever. It's just not that serious. So, in the spirit of the Luxe Budget channel, I got this bottle. Typically, you can find Chablis for a pretty decent price. I would say I typically buy them in like the $25 to $30 range, but this one is $15. I got it at Trader Joe's, and I just want to put it up to the test. I already took a sip of this one from the last video, but just taking a look at it, you can see, let me give you the back of here. This isn't exactly white. So this isn't super pale yellow. It's yellow. It's not quite, when you think really pale, that's when it's going to be typically like the most citrusy, maybe the most light bodied. So this has like I would call like a relatively medium-ish yellow color to it, which to me doesn't really tell me that much. Maybe that's because I don't know a ton about wine yet. To me, it's indicative of a slightly fuller body than just like the most vanishing quick white wine that you can have. So I personally equate a deeper color to just a fuller, richer wine. In this case, I've already tasted it, so I can tell you that this is, I would say, falls more into like the medium light bodied. So it's not super quick to finish. It's also not super robust. It doesn't have like a ton going on. But it does have some very pronounced like green apple notes on the nose. People might say something like it's got orchard fruit on the nose. And it also, you can smell some citrus. Let's take a taste. It's pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with this one. I kind of picked this up on a whim when I did my Sancerre purchase as well, which was not as good. I wish it was, but this one it's sticking around. It has a really interesting flavor to it. I would say there's something I can't quite pin. Maybe it's a slightly floral note to it on top of the citrus, on top of the apple, on top of like the mineral taste that I'm getting there. But I'm genuinely very surprised at how long this is sticking around. It's got a complexity to it that I typically don't expect from a Trader Joe's wine. And I'm not hating on Trader Joe's. I love their cheap wines. I love what they do with them. I think it makes wine more accessible, and I'm all for that. But if you are getting more into wine and you can start appreciating some of the nuances of what makes a good wine really good, then you can just start to temper your expectations. And so even a bad Trader Joe's wine, I'm not gonna not drink it unless it's tainted in some way, or unless it's just really bad. I'm still all for, you open the bottle, let's finish it, especially you're with some friends. It's great. But I'm very pleasantly surprised at how complex but still balanced this is. It's interesting. I feel like this would be an amazing pairing with like a light cheese board. I'm thinking goat cheese sounds fantastic with this wine, or like an oyster, or like I said in my last video, like a pasta dish with a creamy and or citrusy base to it would be just fantastic. It is 85 degrees here today, and I didn't realize how badly I needed a glass of wine. This tastes so good. So all that being said, check out my last video for just more information about what Chablis is. But as far as budget or ball, or as far as the people versus Trader Joe's Chablis goes, I personally stan. I think this is a really great purchase. You can find it in there, typically like there you have the French wine or white French wines in one area. You can find it there. It's Saint-Céline Chablis Appellation d'Origine Contrôlée, which just means that it's like actually a Chablis. Grand Vin de Bourgogne, and it's a 2023 vintage, which again, for white wines like this, you're typically not getting a ton from a mid-tier that's been aged. So don't be put off by the date or the vintage of it, because that's 2023, drinking it in 2025, that's actually a really good, that's a good time frame. That's a good window. Okay, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Cheers.